the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on this Friday morning. We're glad that you've joined us wherever and whenever it is that you join us each and every day and make an Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett and Faith bringing you home here at the end of your week. We hope all of you had a great week and looking forward to a big weekend out there. Faith, good to see you this morning in your new digs, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning. This is not how it's going to be for very long. You'll see a different setup on Monday. Yesterday was just about kind of getting everything from one place to the next. Thank you, Brett, for coming and helping with that. My father and I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's a big step.
Well, I'm so disappointed, first of all. I mean, I was expecting everything to just already be laid out. I mean, what did you do last night? Did you actually sleep or something? I thought you were going to work through the night.
Oh my gosh. I got a few hours. I did text you pretty late because I still hadn't been able to fully go to sleep yet until I had a lot of other things laid out. So
Yep, just got to have everything in place, even though you're moving and stuff. But yeah, excited for you. That's awesome, and yeah, it's going to look different. She kind of gave me a little bit of a preview, everybody, of what it's going to look like behind there. So I won't give that away. You'll just have to tune in and see what it
you'll
looks
be
like.
able to tell that this is an Auburn
Yes.
podcast when you're watching.
Yes, no
It
doubt
might be
about
on
it.
the hunting and fishing show on the other side.
Right. You know, I have my Auburn room downstairs, and but I just thought, I mean, everybody sees Auburn stuff all the time. They know I'm Auburn, so I'll just kind of display the other side of what I like to do, and that's hunt and fish, and maybe a little bourbon in the corner if everybody sees that over there. So from time to time, but yeah, just want to throw that out there. But again, glad to be here on a Friday. Happy Friday to you, John. Always good to hear from you, and we'll start with our partners, and we appreciate all of them. Sensagreen.
Sensagreen for air that's cool and clean. Call on Sensagreen. They are the carrier experts in the state of Alabama. Proud supporters of Auburn athletics and a proud supporter of the Auburn Blitz podcast. It's hot. Yesterday, I was moving in and out, and I felt like I was air conditioning the outside. And a good carrier unit is going to be able to continue to keep your house cool. And Sensagreen will save you thousands of dollars on the installation of a carrier unit.
It was hot yesterday, no doubt, especially moving all that stuff. Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama. Multiple projects they've got going on, multi-million-dollar projects. They're head of right now, one right here in Alexander City with the new Benjamin Russell High School that's coming very close to completion, just probably a few months out now. So call on Scout Program Management in Birmingham. They'll lead you from the pre-construction phase to the finished product. They are the experts there, so call on them.
Bunkers in downtown Auburn. You got 27 different sports that you can play on the golf simulator base. So it doesn't even matter if you're not good at golf. They've got great food, great drinks. The atmosphere there is always awesome. And we got to make our way over there.
Gonna have to do that. And I know we keep saying that, but man, we have been busy. It's just swamped, and we're going to do it, though. We're going to make it happen. You need to make it happen. Not just us. Everybody needs to get out to bunkers. Okay. Yes, John, I am showing my support for Sure Shot in Alex City behind me. There's no doubt about it. Yes, love Sure Shot. Been going to Sure Shot my whole life. And Scott Watson is about as good as it gets. So check him out. We'll talk about him a little bit more in just a minute. Kyle said, Brett, any chance that week 2 of high school ball gets moved to Thursday night? It is. Kyle, update the whole week. It will not be moved, but the particular game that we will be calling, me and Randy and Faith and Wes will be calling, has been moved to Thursday. And I'm not going to say I had anything to do with that, but anyway, we got that moved, and Auburn and Baylor. So all the Ben Russell fans and Clay County fans will get a chance to watch some college football on a Friday instead of of some high school. But yeah, I'm sure there are other communities moving games to Thursday, but that will be the statewide game of the week, by the way, that week, the Benjamin Russell Central Clay game. So looking forward to that one already. And it was just a few weeks away before we get started with all this. So looking forward to it. All right, Faith, finally, some positive news, a big pickup yesterday for Auburn on the offensive line. And, I'm overjoyed because it seems like the last 3 years, Auburn is making the offensive line a priority again. It's like make America great again, make Auburn's offensive line great again. And Hugh Freeze has made this a priority. The previous coaching staffs, one didn't make anything a priority. But Gus Malzahn did really good in recruiting, but he struggled when it came to offensive line recruiting. And you can have all these great skilled guys and you can have all the things that go with it. But if your offensive line doesn't cut the mustard, you're not going to win big football games. And so Auburn picks up Wilson Zaire. He is a legacy. His brother, Killian Zaire, played at Auburn. But this was not just a gimme. Auburn had to really go out and sell Wilson Zaire to come here. Florida State and Alabama really had jumped in the fray, and Florida State had really cranked up the pressure to get him. And, we haven't had any positive momentum really in recruiting the last couple of months. And, with the way things were going, I felt a little eerie about him choosing Florida. So I felt like it was more of a Florida State lean than a Auburn lean, although his brother played and he kind of grew up an Auburn fan. But, man, what a great relief that was to get one of the top offensive tackles in the country to continue to build on this offensive line. I thought it was a big, big, big day yesterday for Auburn getting him.
Yeah, not only on the offensive line, but also just in this recruiting class because of the deficit that we've been in. And I think this is going to hopefully up the momentum of everything that's been going on. And it was good to see some positive.
6'6", 280 pounds. I mean, I saw a picture of him with his brother. I mean, his brother's obviously lost some weight and stuff, but, man, he is much taller than his brother. I mean, he's just a big kid. I mean, just a kid that's going to have an opportunity to put more weight on. And, you can't ever have enough offensive linemen, but getting a key tackle in each class or a couple continues to help build that depth in that foundation. You don't want to have to throw a guy into the fire their first year if they're coming out of high school. So, and I think Auburn's done a really, really good job of in the portal. I think Hugh Freeze has shown he's just as good recruiting in the portal as he is going out and finding guys in high school, a la this offensive line we're going to see this year. And what you and I heard from Connor Liu this past week at Media Days, Faith, I mean, step in and correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a guy that was extremely excited and confident that Auburn will have one of the better offensive lines in this conference this year.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it sounded like. And we've been hearing that for more than just at Media Days. Just the way that everybody is able to rely on each other and count on each other because of the experience that a lot of them all have. And so I just think that makes it so much better in the sense of the confidence that everybody has, but also in the confidence that gives the quarterbacks, the running backs, everything like that.
Yeah, it does. And again, I'm looking forward to, I mean, when you look at this offensive line, and Randy and I kind of went back and forth yesterday and he kind of ribbed me a little bit, which is great. But the offensive line, to me, hasn't been a strength in a long time, maybe since 2017. And when you look at the years Auburn has been successful, I mean, you can look at guys along the front line like the Braden Smiths and I can go down the list. You've got top-rated potential first-round draft picks on your line. And when you look at all the great offensive lines Alabama and Georgia have had, you got NFL prospects up there, loaded, top-ranked guys along the front. And you can look down this offensive line here, and you got a combination of two tackles that transferred in, but you got depth at both sides with like Tutal and a couple other guys. But then you got your guards who have been here. They're the experience of playing together, and then you got an All-American potential in Connor Lew sitting in the middle. I mean, it's when you look at building your offensive line, everybody talks about left tackles, and that's very important. But to me, if you got a solid center, you can go back to Ryan Pugh, and I can go through all the great centers Auburn has had. When they have a solid center, a very, very good above average center, Auburn usually is very successful. And Connor Lew's one of the top centers in the country, and that's your field general. He gets everybody lined up. He gets them kind of on point. He identifies the way the defense, is set and kind of helps you with your blocking schemes and all. I think it's massive. I think Auburn's got all the pieces in place up front.
It's just time to execute it, and that's why we keep saying that football season can't come fast enough.
Exactly. So excited, though, wanted to talk about that. John wanted to know, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this because you weren't on the show yesterday. Any updates on Malcolm Simmons? And so I'll just use this time right now. I haven't had any personally updates. I know a lot of people after our show yesterday were coming on seeing that, he wasn't listed on the Lee County, post anymore and all that. I don't think that means anything based on the information I received direct yesterday. And so really nothing else to report, but Faith, I'll give you a chance to kind of talk about Malcolm for a second. You just recently interviewed him, and, we've interviewed him multiple times. We've been around him so much. Obviously, I've told everybody how long I've been around Malcolm. It's I hate it. It's disheartening. I feel for him. I feel for the victim involved. I feel for anybody that's involved in this mess. And hopefully they're trying to sort through all of this and figure out what really did happen. A lot of times when you have like a domestic call like that, there's a lot of emotion involved both ways. And you got to kind of get both parties separated and kind of have to settle down and then maybe have a conversation. Okay, how did we get to this point and what happened? So I'll just let you have a few minutes to kind of say what you want to say on that.
Yeah, I've met Malcolm a handful of times. My family's met him before. He's always just been such a nice, respectful kid. Every time I've interacted with him or even just in passing or whatever, we'll always say hi. It's really disappointing to hear that something like that happened, especially when you know somebody that well and then you hear that something like that happened, because you can't just dismiss the fact that something must have happened to get to that point. And the thing that I can say is that until everybody knows what actually happened, going out online and believing everything that's happened. I saw on Twitter, there's videos surfacing of random people in an elevator or
that was Ray Rice from that was a regurgitated video.
Right. Random things getting surfaced of saying it's him. And I think you've got to hear an actual statement. And until then, you can't go and believe everything that people behind a screen are going and saying. But it is disappointing, especially considering how well you know him and how well I know him. And I think it's you've got to wait and see how things play out and how things turn up, because until then, there's nothing that's confirmed.
And Auburn really hasn't released any statement on this.
Other than the fact that they're just handling it.
Well, other than that, but there's been no, I guess, ruling from them on what's going to come down. So that's all we have on that situation this morning. Let's get to a couple more of our partners here, Faith. And we were just talking about Sure Shot and how much we appreciate them and Scott.
Brett, how often do you go to Sure Shot?
I try to go pretty often. Hadn't been in a few weeks because, Lord, I hadn't been here. I mean, you kind of have to be here to go there. So, but yeah, I mean, when we're getting closer to hunting season, I mean, they've got deer feeders and all hunting blind. They got like. Don't just take our word for it. I mean, go see sure. I mean, they got everything you need. And if you're trying to help cultivate your land and get it ready for deer hunting, and you need some advice, I mean, they've got people they can get you with there too. So, but Faith, I know you're excited about some things. You and Reese may be coming up and doing some things, but Sure Shot is it's the place to go. And look, it's not some big huge place where you walk in and you feel like you can't talk to somebody. They'll specialize and make sure that you get what you need and have a conversation with you. And I think that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
256-329-0080. Check out Sure Shot in Alexander City.
Oliver Ross, if you've got a party of 20, all the way up to 20,000 people, which is a lot. If you've got a sorority party, fraternity party, your kids are in sorority or fraternity, or if you just have a small private gathering or a convention, Oliver Ross is certified and licensed bartenders that they're going to be able to focus on actually taking care of the bartending services while you get to focus on the hosting and the
Absolutely.
entertainment side.
Yeah, don't worry about all the other stuff. Let the professionals do it. That again, I say this all the time. We are partnered with a bunch of people that are professionals, and that's let them do their job, and you'll come out looking great. All right, I want to shift gears a little bit. Not that we haven't talked about this, but Brent Venables, I thought at SEC Media Days, obviously Jackson Arnold, when he was at Media Days, you and I were there and heard multiple people ask him about what it's like coming back to Media Days for the second consecutive year, but wearing a different, color tie and being with a different team. And he basically said that was really about it. It was kind of the same situation, but just wearing different colors. But, I was interested to hear what Brent Venables had to say about Jackson Arnold, because last year was a roller coaster season for them and for Jackson Arnold. And, basically he came out, Faith, and said, this wasn't on Jackson Arnold. It was a series of circumstances. And the key thing that I thought was, he said, man, we wanted to keep him. This was not, hey, go find somewhere else to go because we're going to go find us another quarterback. They tried to keep Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma. I mean, Brent Venables, it came out of Brent Venables' mouth at Media Days. I mean, I think that should say a lot right there to a lot of Auburn fans that may have a little doubt that, hey, they didn't want him to go anywhere.
And just like you said that we were talking about earlier this week, how Oklahoma had a really weak offensive line and a lot of their wide receivers were out for the whole season or most of the season. That Coach Venables said he had no chances in some ways under the circumstances. And that's true. And at Auburn, he is, because you look at the wide receiver core, you look at this offensive line that we keep talking about. And I mean, if he is able to execute the way that, obviously Coach Freeze has seen in the past and Coach Venables, everybody has seen this we always say it takes more than just one person to make up the whole team. And if all of them together are going to be able to work together like they're supposed to, I think he's going to have a huge successful season at Auburn.
Jordan Rogers on the SEC Network, we caught a glimpse of what he was saying about his mechanics. He said, I see a guy that's really good, but I see a guy that's sitting there holding the ball and holding the ball and holding the ball. Well, when things aren't secure around you, you start to become unsure of yourself and you don't want to make a mistake. And so everything kind of seems to be out of sorts. Look, I'll go back to Bo Nix. I mean, I know this, and it just is wild for me to even say what I'm about to say, but we benched Bo Nix at Auburn, everybody. Let that sink in. Bo Nix, everybody, and I remember week to week and fans go, man, Bo Nix is terrible. He can't. I'm like, Bo Nix didn't wake up and forget how to play football. Okay. Bo Nix in high school was a true 5-star. And when he got to Auburn, he led Auburn to a 9-3 record. He was freshman all SEC. He beat Alabama at home, almost beat Georgia. Okay, it was like it went downhill because the pieces around him went downhill. And he had to run for his life. And as soon as he got a snap, he was scrambling around. And I remember telling everybody, look, quit blaming this on Bo Nix. The man ain't got time to breathe. You can't be successful when you're running for your life. And thank God he could run around and make some plays. If not, we wouldn't have scored any points. So he exits, goes to Oregon. Again, a new rejuvenated opportunity. And look what he did. Look at what Joe Burrow did leaving Ohio State and going to LSU. Again, I'm not saying the Jackson Arnold situation is going to end up like that at Auburn, but I am saying that guys don't forget how to play the game. Jackson Arnold didn't go from a 5-star plus guy out of high school that Oklahoma and everybody else wanted to can't figure out how to get it done anymore. Like the situation that surrounds you kind of shapes and molds who you become. So the thing I think, Faith, in my hearing what Hugh Freeze said and hearing what Jordan Rogers said, can he get over the mental hump of last year and just get back to playing football and having just say, look, let me go out here and do my thing. I've got confidence that my receivers are going to catch it and go get it when I throw it to them. I've got confidence in my offensive line to give me protection in time to throw when I need to throw. He's just got to let all that other stuff in the past go. But if he can't, it could be a problem.
Having Cam Coleman reach out to him at 8:30 at night, I think is part of hopefully the reason that he will be able to get over that hump that we're referring to and be able to say, hey, these guys are working just as hard as I am and they want it just as bad as me. This is how we're going to get there. And I think that's going to be a big part that helps the glue for the whole offensive side.
Because it all comes back to him, ultimately. I mean, I think when you look at, I know that we've also I asked the question about the running backs a couple of weeks ago to Coach Freeze, and he feels really confident. Somebody asked the same question at Media Days. He gave the same response. I think we just haven't seen a lot of these guys, and when you had Jarquez Hunter in front of them, they just didn't get the opportunities. Now it's their time to shine. The receivers the same way. I asked him at Media Days specifically about the receiving core and how it relates and how it compares to what he's been around in the past. And he said, man, it's no comparison. He said, these guys they're all unicorns and they're all unbelievable. And he talked about Horatio Fields kind of not getting any pub, but how really good he is and being able to work with him. And I've got a buddy at Wake Forest that says, look, y'all are getting a great receiver. I know he didn't do as much last year, but he just raves about his potential. And then we can go down the list of picking up the best receiver in the portal and Eric Singleton and Cam Coleman. And, people can say what they want to. Ryan Williams is a phenomenal player at Alabama. He proved that. Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. But Cam Coleman, I think the last 5 games of the season, his numbers were better than both of them. So, again, Cam Coleman was one of those receivers in that class that was right there at the top, and everybody need not forget that he was committed to Texas A&M, and we were able to get him flipped back to Auburn, which was massive. So just the potential is there. And if the quarterback position can come through, then yeah, you're going to have big time opportunities. Some quotes from Brent Venables' Faith. He said, I hate what happened. We wanted to keep him and tried to keep him, but he just needed a fresh start. I don't want to speak for him. He was wonderful. I was never once disappointed in him. Again, so it just comes down to a fact that, he came back to Jackson Arnold at the end of the year. If you don't forget, he comes in and now his passing stats weren't there, but he really put Oklahoma on his back running the football in that Alabama game to lead to that victory. And so, yeah, he didn't end the season on the bench. It was kind of, literally he went to the bench the week before they came to Auburn, if you'll remember. He just had been put on the bench. And so there was a stretch of games there he didn't play, and then they went right back to him at the end of the season. So I honestly believe, and Brent Venables had no reason to get up there and embellish anything and lie. And he was being honest. He said, we really wanted to keep him here. We thought he was the right guy for us, but he decided to get in the portal. So one more quote. He said, everything around him was, like you just said, everything around him wasn't helping him be successful. He had no chances in some ways under the circumstances. Here's the part I think that shows the confidence from him to Auburn people. He's like, he will be a different player this year. Sometimes you need to be motivated too, right? Everybody.
Just hearing that from another coach, though, I think shows the growth from Auburn, because he's not looking at Auburn through the orange and blue glasses like a lot of the people we're surrounded are. And hearing him say that, it's okay. He sees on paper our roster has all the things that it needs to be successful, and Jackson Arnold is set up to be a successful player.
And he said that. I mean, again, this is not a guy that was just out there wandering around in the portal hoping somebody would grab him. He was highly touted, and a lot of schools wanted him. And he felt like Auburn was his best fit with Hugh Freeze. And like you just said, when he looked down the line and said, yeah, this roster's built to win now. And I remember Cam Newton saying this when he talked about making the decision between Mississippi State and Auburn. And I know all you funny people out there will say, I can tell you what made him make the decision, the $250,000. Well, I mean, when you get past that, when he looked at rosters, he said, I like Mississippi State a lot. But he said, when I looked at a roster comparison and I wanted to see who was ready to win now, he said, I thought if I were on those two teams, which one gave me the best chance to win now? And it was Auburn. Auburn had the pieces. They just needed the quarterback. Well, I think Jackson Arnold's looking at that. And again, please don't quote me and say, well, Brett just said that this year is going to be just like the 2010 season and they're going to win a national title. I didn't know what I said. I'm saying that Jackson Arnold looked at the roster and compared it to other teams maybe he was looking at and said, no, Auburn's got the stuff that to win now. So I'm going to choose to go there now, and I'm hoping it works out.
Amen to that.
What about Deuce Knight and how he plays into this mix, Faith? Had somebody ask me a question about that yesterday. I don't necessarily think Deuce Knight has to play this year. If Jackson Arnold's having a stellar year and he's learning and he's building, I think it's more important for Auburn to be successful. I think Auburn is devoted and committed to Deuce Knight, but it's got to come in the right amount of time. Now, again, if Jackson Arnold struggles, Deuce Knight's going to be thrust into action. He has no choice. So I don't know how Hugh Freeze is going to manage this. He came out pretty adamantly and said right after spring, I mean, he didn't even wait, a couple of days. Said, well, Jackson Arnold's our starting quarterback going into the fall. He didn't waste any time with that.
Experience between the both of them, and excuse me, I think Deuce has so much potential, and I've always said that I really like him, and everything I've seen from him, I've been very, very impressed with how early on it is, and he doesn't look like a freshman at all.
No, not at all.
I think something that's going to be important for these guys is knowing that they're not going to get pulled out immediately after a mistake, because we've seen that the past couple of years I guess not for Peyton maybe, but once Peyton, he was out and then Hank came in and then Hank messed up and then Holden would go in and then Holden made a mistake after one play and Walker White went in for one play, and then it was a whole disaster. And I think the pressure of that is just really daunting.
It is. And speaking of pressure, I thought I'd throw this out there. Talking to Robert Spears Jennings, the safety at Oklahoma, a lot of questions were asked of the players about Jackson Arnold, and especially this year having to come back and play in Oklahoma. I like what he said. He said, man, he was young. He said, I feel like this year it's just his time to really shine. He said, I feel like he has some a great staff around him. He's going to have a great time at Auburn. Him coming back to Norman, he's going to try to have a redemption game. He said, we're waiting for him to come, just going to have fun. I mean, the guys really speak highly of him. And, you can tell it was a guy that they would have loved to have had stay on their team. There was
Even the
no,
way Jackson spoke about them.
yeah,
I mean, he said that it was going to be fun, and let's see, he said it's going to be a fun environment to go and play. I really enjoyed playing in that stadium, which I think honestly is a little bit different of how Walker White addressed.
no, he did it completely different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Auburn going and playing at Baylor, and is Walker.
I can't wait to hand them their first. I mean, and look, what is he gonna say? I mean, he's playing for Baylor now. He wants to show the commitment there, but I mean, yeah, he was kind of a little bit curt with it, and I thought Auburn really embraced Walker White and tried to give him every opportunity, and it didn't work out. So,
Right, and we're
um,
not talking about him. We're talking about Jackson Arnold. I'm just saying the way that he addressed that, I think was
no, it was terrible.
yeah.
I
No,
mean,
no, I'm saying Jackson Arnold addressed
no,
it
Jackson Arnold, yeah, for sure. I'm
very
talking
well,
about
and I
Walker
think
White. How he,
everybody has spoken very well
right.
about him, and I just think that's a good thing about who you got on your team.
And like Justin said, yeah, Jeff Lebby had a lot of positive things to say about Arnold. And that's really it. I think that's where it all fell apart when Jeff Lebby took the job at Mississippi State. Jackson Arnold, that was Jackson Arnold's guy. And you can say what you want to say out there, but kids and coaches build relationships, and they build that bond and that comfort zone. And when one leaves, a lot of times the coach leaving to go somewhere else, the maybe the player doesn't adapt well. And when you come in and change a scheme, maybe it doesn't quite fit what they were used to doing. And so it takes a little while to kind of let it build in. And then, like Brent Venable said, when you add the fact that our offensive line gave up the most sacks in the SEC and majority of the starting receivers were out, you can't just sit there and point a finger at Jackson Arnold like he was the main cause for the offense to be, inept and anemic. So, thought that was good. It's always good to hear, especially in this world now with the transfer portal, when kids move from one school to the next. Hey, I thought, I didn't bring this up, and I don't think it's not really news, but it shouldn't have garnered any news. But you and I were sitting there, and this girl from Arkansas asked a question to Hugh Freeze about Caleb Wooden and how he thought he was going to do at Arkansas, and what did he think he brought to Arkansas's team. And it was, I thought Coach Freeze said, well, I mean, I think he's a good SEC player. It kind of left it at that. I looked at you like, that may have been one of the dumbest. And it took her 10 minutes to ask the question because she read off a paragraph. And I'm like, and she finally got to the end of it, and Coach Freeze is like, what do you want me to say? The man left our program. He's playing for Arkansas. You want me to just go over here and talk about how great? No, I mean, I thought it was funny.
It was bizarre. It felt like a fever dream, just that one part.
Fever dream.
It did. I was like,
really? I'm like, what are we talking about here? So
it took a really long time to get out. So
it did, and it was awkward. And then it's like, and then there was one guy in the back. It was funny. I think he asked a question somewhere in his statement, but it was like you could have just picked the phone up and called Coach Freeze and talked, and it would have been better. I don't even really know what he asked, but anyway, you get everything at media days. It's a kind of a circus sometimes, but it's all good. But all right, Tubbs Tiger said, do y'all think Malcolm plays against Baylor? I mean, I guess if they work things out, he will. I think still we don't know anything as of today officially on his status. And, if nothing has been said, then he obviously is still on the roster and he's still part of the team until something has been said otherwise. So we're waiting for that that news, just like all of you guys are, and haven't heard any more since really yesterday afternoon on the situation. So I know everybody is kind of anxiously waiting to hear something because, again, let's not try to shy away or skirt the issue. Malcolm Simmons was a starter on this offense for a reason. in a deep wide receiver room, he was going to be one of the 3 starters on the field. It was going to be Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, and Eric Singleton. That was going to be your 3 starters. Now, again, Auburn's got 8 guys that can play wide receiver, and they're all going to rotate and they're going to get time. But if you ran the 3 out there that were going to start, it's Malcolm. So if you're trying to act like this doesn't hurt, and you're lying to yourself. Now, again, I talked about DJ Barber yesterday too, Faith. I think maybe when the dust settles, if Malcolm were not to return, the DJ Barber loss may be as big or bigger because of a depth situation. Like, we've got good linebackers, but we really needed DJ Barber as a true depth piece at linebacker. Malcolm, obviously a starter and really good offensive player, but I mean, we've gone down the whole roster of wide receivers for Auburn. I mean, you're going to be able to slide a guy in. It's very comparable. So, yep. Tubbs. Yep. Again, I wish I had something to deliver to you a little bit more definitive right now, but I don't. I could speculate, but I don't want to speculate right now. And leaving for Vegas this weekend to play Shirley Petts and losing him is huge. Yep. I mean, it is. Like I said, I'm not going to try to shy away from it. I'm not going to say that that's not going to be devastating. I mean, literally one of the first guys out of Jackson Arnold's mouth when I asked him about the receiver room was Malcolm, not Cam, not Eric Singleton. He just said Malcolm, Cam. You can tell he's at the forefront. I mean, he's a dynamic playmaker, and I think he has a very similar skill set to Ryan Williams. I think both of those guys in high school were very similar for their high school teams, and they were both track superstars, and they just had a lot of similarities. And if Auburn doesn't have Malcolm Simmons, then that's a major piece off your team. No other way to spin it. So, all right, Faith, we got a busy day today. We got a fun day today.
We do. We're going to be at Lake Martin Pizza. Really excited to go there and get some good pizza.
It's the best, man. It really is. I mean,
were you there
I was there last night. I was there last night. My son came home for 10 seconds, it felt like, and now he's gone again. But he wanted to eat at Lake Martin Pizza, and I was not going to say anything about, hey, I'm doing my show there tomorrow. So, but he wanted to go there, so all the family went there last night, and they had karaoke night last night, and there were a lot of people there. It was fun. No, I did not get up and do that. I saved everybody the heartache of me getting up and trying to attempt that. But it was very, very good. We'll be on the Highway 63 location, John. We were at the 49 location last time. So we will be on the 63 location this time and looking forward to it. Yeah, it was a good night last night. It was kind of a breeze blowing out there on the porch. And so we'll be there today. So come see us. Come check us out and hang out with us, and we'll have some T-shirts and stuff with us as we always do. I walked in last night, Faith, you'll love this. They were all excited. They knew we were coming tomorrow. They're all excited. They're like, what are you doing here right now? I'm like, well, I'm just coming to eat. And they're like, well, you're still coming tomorrow, right? And so they're excited about it. So looking forward to seeing Lake Martin Pizza and the people there. They're great people, and they have something going on, it seems like, every night during the week. And then, of course, being a Friday heading into the weekend, as we tail off for summer, it's always a great place to go hang out on a Friday. So come join us for lunch. And if you can't make it for lunch, make sure it's part of your dinner plans tonight, because I think they'll have some live music going. We'll promote all of that when we get there this afternoon, but looking forward to it. A couple more partners on our program before we get off. Old Number One Customs.
They were just at your house yesterday, weren't they?
They were. Exciting times. Going to have the start of that project coming up probably in about 2 weeks, kind of getting everything picked out and ready to go, and remodeling our master bathroom and renovating that. So it's exciting. So if you need a master bathroom or a kitchen or an outdoor living space or anything, Old Number One Customs is the company to call. 334-752-6162.
along with JFA Blue Plumbing. They've got literally the best home Atlas water filter duo system that's going to be able to make sure you've got filtered water throughout every single faucet in your house. So it doesn't matter, what it's for. It's going to be going through that filter system. It's only $15.99. You can't put a price on health, but it's always good to make sure that, you're taking care of your health with how much water you should be drinking. So that's your reminder today to drink water. 844 JFA Blue.
Absolutely. Drink tons of water. Got to be hydrated out here. A lot of times people don't realize they're dehydrated till it's too late. And so
And it's hot out.
All that humidity, man, is just draining all those fluids out. So make sure you stay hydrated out there. Okay, we will be at Lake Martin Pizza today, and excited about that. It is Friday, so I know we're heading into the weekend. And Faith, I'll let you have the floor.
I hope everybody has the best day, the best weekend ever.
And a big old
War Eagle.